Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Woman Television, and today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on what would they say if they could. So this is primarily for soulmates and separation, lost love connection, you are distant from each other in some way, right? This is a no contact for most of you situation. Now, if this video has landed in your lap and you're in a different kind of situation where this might apply, but it's not those things, please trust yourself. Please watch. I have no doubt it is for you. We can trust life more so than our evaluations of it. So thank you for being here. I want to thank you for being a part of this family and community, for all of your likes, your shares, your subscribes. And I also want to let you know before we begin that I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions and longer term programs to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. There are also ways to contribute to and support this channel. You can find all of those details and more below. And from here we will get started. I will place a picture of the 3 card piles up for you now. All right, so card pile 1, let's begin. What would they say if they could? This is soulmates in separation, partners at a distance, no contact kind of situation. Maybe you've been ghosted. Maybe there's been a breakup. So, okay, so this person is very much nostalgic, maybe even right along with you. They've been thinking of you. They've been thinking of this connection. They have been perhaps daydreaming or fantasizing about this connection, like the things that could be, the what ifs, and what if it had gone this way, and what if it had been done this way. It does feel like there might be regrets here in this connection, so it doesn't yet show. I'm not feeling how this separation or disconnect was handled. However, it's clear there might be some regrets here, even some curiosity as to, could this work again? Could you come together again? Is this a possibility? Would you be available to that possibility? So there are some thoughts. There's a thought stream of that and associated feelings of romance and nostalgia and looking back. And it's like they have a lot of things going on in their world in terms of things that they have to take care of, responsibilities that they have, tasks, right? So they're living their lives and they're doing their things. And again, they could be someone who is like in management or something at their job, or they're just trying to get their life together a little bit more. Maybe they have children, or maybe they're even in, for some people, a third party connection. That's not a huge energy here. It's just that there is something that's sort of like taking up space in their lives that is taking up space. We'll just keep it at that. We'll keep it simple. But it's interesting because when all of that, kind of that hamster wheel slows down or stops, when they're not thinking about the things that they have to do, or like the dinner they have to cook, or the responsibilities at work, they're very much thinking of you. So what would they be saying if they could? They'd be saying, listen, I am still thinking of you. I'm still daydreaming about our connection. I'm still wondering about what could be. I'm still thinking about all of the what ifs and the could be's and could things work out. And even though my life is pretty full right now and I am trying to work towards some bigger dreams and goals for myself, I am trying to put some things into place, I can't help but think of you. You know, you're still on my mind. I still have feelings for you. Despite some regrets that I might have or some remorse about how things went down, I very much think of you. You have a place in my heart still. So that's what they would be saying to you. So what would they say if they could? We're going to move on to the next cards here. So it does feel like there's a new beginning, or that they are seeking a new beginning. I'm feeling like for most of you, 60% of you, because it is a majority energy, that they would like a new beginning with you. They are considering the new beginning, how that could look, how that could work. They're not yet sure how to approach it. They're not yet sure how to consider it, conceptualize it, even how they would approach or communicate that to you. I am curious, I might have to pull cards later if we don't get to it through the cards that are being given here, as to what might be holding them back, or, perhaps it was the way that the connection, ended in separation or disconnect. But it very much sounds like they do want a new connection with you. There's even some romance here in terms of like fiery passion or a yearning or desire for you in that way. but they would love to see you guys come back together again. However, it's feeling like they haven't come forward yet, or something is in the way, or something is holding them back. This could be those responsibilities again that are getting in the way, but I actually feel like it's something inside of them that's holding them back, and they're just not quite sure. I think some of it is wondering if it's even the right choice. You know, is this right for us? Is this the right choice? Is this the wisest choice? Will we go down the same road again? Will we run into the same impasses? Will we have the same issues? You know, is this the smart choice to make? You know, am I going with head or am I going with heart? Right? So these are some of the things that they would say. If they could say them, they'd be like, I want a new start with you. I want to see what we could be. And I even think about you in a number of ways, you know, including physical union with you. And, you know, I can't not think of you in that way or feel these feelings toward you, and I would love to start again and try this again, and yet it's almost like I can't get myself to do it. You know, there's a lack of courage here, or there's a fear. And so again, that could be them saying to you, I just don't know if it's the right choice. I don't know that we wouldn't walk down the exact same roads and run into the same impasses and butt heads the same way we did before. I just don't know if it's the wisest decision, and I don't even know how I would approach you. So yeah, there's again that heartbreak energy here, you know, a lost love connection, but then their recognition of, no, I know that you're hurting, and I know that I am too. And or it's something like, I know that you're thinking about me, or that you still feel me, and I feel you too. And it's almost like this recognition of a mutual wanting, a mutual yearning to come together again, to reconsider, to go back to the drawing table, and to see what's possible. So what would they say if they could? They'd say, you know, this was hard. This was a hard situation for the both of us. I know that you still daydream of me and think of me, and even if that doesn't land for you, right, this is their impression, but there's definitely that sense of longing here and a sense of lost love. They've been through that heartache or heartbreak, and they recognize again that you still consider them and think of them too. And so they'd say, honestly though, you could probably still have me. And there's that piece though that we talked about earlier, where they wonder if it's the wise choice, or if it's irrational, or if it's the right thing for the both of you. However, they're saying like this, you know, I would take you back. I'd be with you, you know. And again, there's the hesitation and reluctance though. So perhaps this is a disconnect between their emotions again and what their mind tells them. It's like their emotions or their heart says, perhaps it's worth to try again. Why not explore this? Why not at least have a conversation? Maybe there wasn't full closure for this group, for card pile 1, and they would love to be able to try again, to start again, and yet they, again, can't allow themselves because the mind says, oh, well, that's not logical, or that's not rational, or it doesn't make any sense, or you guys would just do the exact same thing you did before. But there is another message here, and I'm going to see what this is. It does feel like, and this is more like a message from Spirit too, that what you both want is possible. Now, here's the thing though, and this is where the message splits off a little bit, where it's saying, this relationship is possible. There is potential here. There is a higher potential to explore together within this relationship. But some of those issues, the issues that both of you were working with when you were interacting and seeing each other or dating each other, or whatever this relationship looked like, you guys were both facing some things and inner hurdles and such within you and also with each other. And those things would very much have to be worked through. So whether or not you did it together or on your own and then came back together at some point in the future, it does feel like this is a possibility for the both of you to return to each other, but it might very well be a labor of love and some deeper healing that would be required in order for this relationship to be fulfilling and satisfying for the both of you. But there is a higher potential here. You guys both can come together. You two are the ones that are holding yourselves back from this connection, one or both of you. And so I want to make sure I share that message from Spirit too, that love is possible. And whether it's with you, you know, the people, you know, your person of interest with you, or if it's with someone else, there is this message here that love exists, love is possible, and there is love for you no matter what. And so that message is coming through too. Okay, so the final message that they would share with you is, let me feel into this. I might pull a clarifier card here. You guys know I don't often do that. Yeah. Right. Okay, so what's coming through here is because I want to phrase it like, what would they say if they could? They'd say, I feel like there's a possibility for us. I feel like there's something that maybe that is still not yet explored. I feel like there's more between us that is meant to happen. I feel like what we experienced was just a limited version of what's possible, that there's plenty more available for us, but we didn't even get that far, right? It's almost like we landed on this impasse, or we landed in this destination, and that was it. And there was plenty more for us to explore. Like, we hardly got off before it was cut off, right? Like, you guys hardly launched, and then it was over, and it's like there was way more to explore there. And there's this yearning and this person of interest of yours to want to try again, to trust this connection, to trust a new chapter or a new unfolding or a new start for you. However, that mind, again, they daydream a lot. They want to believe that there's a greater possibility for you guys, or you both. I see you guys. I'm from Illinois in the USA, so Midwestern kind of thing, I think. But they do foresee a future for the both of you. And maybe though some of it might be grounded in more fantasy as opposed to truth. So again, they have this fantasy, this daydream of you, and I think that maybe that's where some of the disconnect is them really coming to terms with what your relationship actually looked like. And maybe that's a message for you as well. So it could be one or the both of you, where it's like being very clear on the actual relationship and the actual potential of the relationship, what was actually there, as opposed to what you just wanted to be there, right? Was it a fantasy? Was it an idea? Were you in love with the fantasy or the idea of it and the love that was there? Or were you in love with the person? And are you available and willing to explore more with that person, even if you might have to be, running into other things that may not be ideal for both of you to have to look at, and especially together. So yes, their mind gets in the way, but what would they say again? I believe there's more for us to explore. I don't think we got to explore enough. I would love to try again and trust this connection and see where it takes us. I want to believe that there's more here for us, but there's something in the way. I just can't let myself do this. And again, that could be fear of reaching out, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to articulate it, not knowing it's the wisest choice. Plus, they're working on getting their ducks in a row. So they are in a position right now, like I said, where they're focusing on tasks and responsibilities. This could be at home or at work, but they're really feeling like, hey, the smart choice for me right now, as much as I want to go to you, and that my heart says to go after you, and that I truly believe there's more here for us. We never got to explore all that was there. I haven't been able to get there yet. I haven't gotten to that point of being able to reach out, of being able to make this connection happen. And also, I'm focused on doing all these things in my life, and I feel like that's the wisest choice for me right now, is to really focus on my own life and getting my shit together. Now, I will say though, as I share these messages, it's interesting though, because this person does feel close energetically. So it's like their mind is saying, I have to focus on this. I know what the right choice is. I'm supposed to be staying away from you. I don't even know what I would say. I don't know how I'd approach this, but they actually feel quite close. And so what that tells me is, again, they're actively connected to you in some way, thinking of you, even willing to explore this connection. They're just not yet sure how to navigate that and how to navigate it well, and in such a way that might lead to greater success as opposed to the failure that happened before. So if there's let's see if there's any final messages here that want to be offered. Yeah, so it's saying that there is, again, more potential here. There is more available for you guys. That for this situation to come to full justice, like for it to actually be worthwhile, or what it was meant to be or could have been, there's an opportunity here to either reunite and reconvene in that way, or to come to a conversation or a closure. There's more to be gained from this situation than has been gained. So whether that's you guys coming together in romantic relationship again, or coming back together to have a conversation, or simply coming back for closure, there is an opportunity for more to be gained. This could also be around healing. So healing for the both of you, each of you, on your own paths in your own lives, and really using this connection to support its highest potential, meaning now you know what you want in a person or what you don't, and now you know how you want to feel in a relationship, and now that you know what's possible. So again, there are some really good things to be gleaned from this connection, and perhaps more to be explored between the both of you together. So that is your message, card pile 1. That's what they would say if they could. You'll have to let me know how that resonates below. I'd love to hear from you. And again, I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions to support you in your life, in your work, and your spiritual path. I also have longer term programs. And if you feel like you'd like to support or contribute to this channel as we share so freely with each of you, you're welcome to do so, and you can find those details below. All right, thank you, card pile 1. All right, card pile 2. So this is about what would they say if they could, right? A soulmate in separation, no contact, a situation where there's been a heartbreak or a loss or a separation of some kind. So what would they say if they could? Okay, so it looks like there was an ending of some kind here, and they want you to know that they're not judging it or seeing you as bad or wrong, or even judging this as something that like is a thorn in their side. Like, they're not seeing it in a negative way. They're not seeing it in a negative light. They don't see you in a negative way or a negative light. Now, I'm not getting a whole lot of bad vibes that something went terribly wrong or like this major tower crumbled and collapsed. It feels a little bit more neutral than that, and it doesn't feel really heavy. So for me, that's either because they've been able to work themselves through into greater healing and greater awareness with it. They've transmuted some of those emotions or feelings or the situation or whatever it was that happened, or it means that it was a neutral ending, a neutral separation, a neutral no contact situation where both of you have agreed to create this distance and both of you have found a semblance of closure and neutrality, and yet here you are asking about them. So maybe there's some lingering feelings for you. We haven't yet seen here what's coming through for them, but they are saying there's no judgment, there's no hard feelings. I really appreciate what we had. I really appreciate what it did for me, what it did for you, what we were able to create together and share together. You know, I have found the deeper spiritual wisdom or understanding from this situation. Like, I have taken what I was meant to take from this situation, and I only have gratitude for you. I have gratitude for our situation. I even have gratitude for our separation and what it has brought me and what it has taught me. This has only served me. This has been really good for me, and I hope that it's been good for you. So that's really what's coming through right away, and we'll see what else happens here through the layers of the reading. Yeah, so they've done the healing work with this, you all. So there might have been some kind of fight or separation or something that initially was difficult for them, where they had to move through a lot of heavy and deeper emotions, but they've done the healing work. They've allowed themselves to feel this, to process it, to move through it, to navigate it well, or at least to be able to pull and glean some light from all of this. They've been able to find more positivity on the other side, and they are moving toward greater fulfillment here. So what they might say is, you know, despite how things ended, and even though they might have been difficult for us, it might have been difficult for us to move on, I've been able to navigate what we did or what we moved through and move through some of those feelings. And there was a time where I had to process what happened between us and what we shared and what we talked about and the feelings that I walked away with, because even though we walked away, it feels like more of a neutral kind of situation, like a mutual agreement of some kind. You know, there were some lingering feelings. I did have some lingering feelings for you, and some lingering curiosities, and even some lingering just energy toward you, where it was like, I didn't know if I was fully ready to let you go, and I didn't know if I really wanted this to end. And even though I knew we were making the right choice and it was this conscious or mutual ending, you know, I wasn't fully on board with it, although my mind and most of myself was, and I really had to do the work to move through that and process some of those lingering and residual feelings. But I have to be honest that I've made my way to the other side. You know, I'm feeling more whole, I'm feeling more fulfilled, I'm feeling more satisfied, and I've been able to successfully move on, and I'm really finding happiness on the other side of this connection. Now, I do want to share for those of you who might be hearing this and that is hurtful for you, I want to let you know that it feels like your ending was mostly neutral or favorable in some way, like you both agreed to this one way or the other, maybe even reluctantly or begrudgingly, but it's not like there was a lot of heat or passion or intensity or difficulty or challenge with this. It's like some of those things were there, but you guys handled this very well, and that you both knew it was the right choice for you. And so I guess I want to offer that as a disclaimer here, is this might hurt to hear for some of you, and yet it feels like or seems like you might have known at that time this was the best choice for you. And it sounds like this person has been able to use this relationship for good and really support their greater growth and healing. And they do actually hope the same for you. Okay. Yeah. So they have grown better or improvement. They have grown in some ways personally and spiritually as a result of this. There's been a positive outcome for them. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean for some of them, I feel like a very small minority, they've been able to move on and find love, but they have a lot of gratitude for you and your connection and everything that you taught them. I feel like for a small minority of you, you are even aware of this, and that's might even be why you're listening, because you're like, wow, you know, we ended it, and I know that was the right choice for the both of us, and we really did this in a very mature way, and we worked through our feelings, but they already moved on, and like, what the heck, you know, that stings. So if that's you, know that they are very grateful for your connection. They have incredible gratitude for you, for your place in their lives, for the experience and everything that you shared, and it very much is something that they carry with them. They are grateful, and it has grown them in ways they probably wouldn't have been able to grow before if it wasn't for you. So they do have a lot of gratitude for you. So of course, that's only going to land for some of you. If it doesn't land, please apply it to your circumstances, okay? So there is a positive outcome, and they want to assure you as well that there is positivity on the other side of this for you. So they are believing at this time. What would they say if they could? They would be either assuring you of your own positive outcome or reminding you that your life is good, that you have too found joy on the other side of this, that you too have found fulfillment and satisfaction on the other side of this, that you too have moved on with your life and changed your focus and so on and so forth, and that your life is well and good too. Now, I do feel a little bit of missing or longing or yearning for. I do feel some energy in there. I don't know if they're privy to that or consciously aware of that, but I do feel at a deeper level they're aware that you miss them on some level, but they miss you too on some level. It doesn't feel like a missing in terms of like, I need you here right now. It's like that feeling of just such immense gratitude for you, but also for each other, that there's always that lingering love. It's just like love doesn't end. Maybe a relationship does, but more often than not, love stays, love remains, and it can't even grow in some cases where you're able to do some healing work and then develop greater fondness and gratitude for the other person and for the relationship and for everything that it brought to you in their lives. So it's like they're recognizing that and they're seeing the gratitude, and it's almost like that message of what would they say if they could. It would be like, you know, we really shared something special. We really shared something beautiful, and look what it's done for the both of us, and we'll both always carry each other in our hearts. And what a beautiful thing that is. You know, I can trust that this is the right thing or was the right thing, and I sure hope you can too. And I feel like you do trust, and this is from the person, and I feel like you do trust that this was the right thing, and it makes perfect sense that you might still think about me sometimes, or that you might still miss me sometimes, because I still think of you, and I miss you sometimes. You know, I miss your laugh or your smile. I'm seeing like people sharing memories in a bathtub or things like that, and I don't know why that is. That's random. I don't know if it'll land for somebody, but it's like, they look back on these things, they have nostalgia too, and they appreciate you. You know, they have utmost immense appreciation for you. It doesn't feel like there's any hard feelings here, and they want you to trust this journey and everything that you guys have all the ways that you've grown and everything that you've gained from this connection. So yeah. So they're recognizing, again, with a lot of gratitude, how special this connection was. For the small minority of you where they already have moved on and you know about that, it's positioned them in a better way to be able to like just do better and show up more, and in the ways that whatever you guys had happened or whatever had happened between you guys, whatever ways they grew, it's become purposeful in their new connection. So they've been able to use that. But essentially what wants to come through here is both of you are better off and greater positioned for the love that you want, for the love that excites you and thrills you and moves you and fulfills you and satisfies you. You both are now better positioned for the kind of love you actually want, for someone who's more compatible, for someone who's more your equal, where you can both really meet each other. This person says, you know, because of what we went through together, we're now both in a better position to be a good lover to someone else, to receive love, to be loved, to share love. We're both better positioned to really show up for our future partners and show up in a different way to really, again, expand into that love and really experience the kind of fulfilling and satisfying partnership we both sought and both wanted. And I know we couldn't figure that out together for whatever reason, because it's going to be unique to each and every one of you. But I know this is going to be good for us, and this is going to be the thing that truly satisfies us and truly helps us to come alive. This really positions us to experience all that we really deeply want in our life and in our love connections. So that's your reading, card pile 2. I thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback and how this resonates below. I do offer both personal readings as well as coaching sessions and longer term programs to support you in your life, in your work, and on your spiritual path. And there are ways to contribute to this channel and to support this channel as we give so freely. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, so card pile 3. What would they say if they could? Okay, so they're seeing you in a better light. They're really seeing you for all that you were. They're coming around and really finding greater perspective, and they are even finding more ways to value you, to value the connection, value what you brought, what you gave them. It's really supported them to see you as you are, appreciate you even more, value you even more. So there might have been so obviously this reading is for soulmates and separation, lovers or partners and disconnect. Perhaps there was a breakup or heartbreak of some kind, but clearly for most of you, you'll be in separation. And it's saying that, you know, they're starting to kind of understand why everything unfolded the way that it did, why everything had to happen the way that it did. They're just gaining greater understanding about you, about your value, about how much they appreciate you, how much they appreciate this connection, and they're seeing how it sort of all was perfect in the way that it unfolded and had to happen. So to me, this sounds like, again, whatever breakup or whatever led to your disconnect, there may have been a falling out of some kind, maybe something that was difficult, maybe a challenge or something that, whether it was unpredictable, unexpected, maybe there were hard feelings. I don't know that for sure because I'm not feeling a lot of like intense or hard or denser energy or anything. I'm just not feeling that. What I'm actually feeling is, again, because now they're on the other side of it, so we might get more information as we go, but they're able to see the beauty in it. They're able to see the gift in it. They've been able to see how it all unfolded perfectly, and that there isn't any reason for hard feelings or upset or disappointment or anything like that. They're really finding value in you, especially, and who you are, and who you were to them and the place that you held in their lives. And they're seeing how everything is perfect in the way it unfolded, like it had to happen for whatever way. They've really come to a greater understanding within themselves regarding this relationship and how it has served greater purpose in their life and even for you. So what would they say if they could? They'd say something like, oh my gosh, with everything that's happened, I have even more respect for you, and I appreciate you even so much more. And I have, again, so much more respect for you, even more than I did before, admiration and love, and I just value you so much. And gosh, you just awe me. You really, really put me in a state of wonder, and I can't say enough good things about you. And it's too bad that it took me this time and this space and even this disconnect for me to come to this awareness, but I really am seeing you and everything you brought to the table and all the ways that I really loved and appreciated and valued you in our relationship. And I'm even seeing how everything had to happen the way that it did. You know, I have been able to find some satisfaction and fulfillment and closure in all of this. I've been able to find some deeper healing and growth through all of this. And I even want to thank you for that, because you brought me a gift through all of this, even knowing you, sharing your presence in my life, just having you in my life. And then after having gone through what we did, I've really been able to see the perfection and the divine unfolding when it comes to our relationship, and I have just so much love for you. So that's what would come through, yeah. Again, and I'm not showing cards as much, and I shared a little bit as to why on some of my previous videos. I'm going to show the ones that are highlighted, the ones that Spirit wants me to show, but it really helps me in terms of my channeling and the way I intuitively read, which isn't directly from the cards, the energy. It really helps me just to free flow. So if you guys desperately want to see cards, I am open to feedback. I want to be there for you and do this the right way, the way that resonates most for you. But even when I listen to my own readers, I don't ever look at the cards. I just let them flow to me. So they see you as some kind of divine gift. They see you as a blessing, as even a necessary blessing in their lives. You brought through something that was necessary for them to be able to unpack or experience or reveal. So you brought about some kind of growth or some kind of healing or some kind of awareness and understanding that has really supported them in a lot of ways. And I only want to pull a card on that. I want to find out what that means. Okay, so well, we'll get more through the other layers of the readings. You guys know I don't always pull clarifier cards, but I want to know, like, if it doesn't give it to me, it's like, well, you know, why this means so much to them? You know, what is it that was in particular? In some ways, it's made them, it's interesting because they started seeing your value so much and appreciating you so much more. And in some ways, they're seeing themselves more clearly. Okay, so maybe they've gained more confidence, more self-esteem, more clarity about themselves, more clarity about what they want, maybe even their passions, what they want to move toward, their career, but they're seeing themselves as more powerful, more confident, more capable, more able to live a life or create a life that's more fulfilling to them. It's something about really seeing themselves as capable and able and just seeing themselves in a really good light. And they're also seeing that in you. So that's an interesting combination, I think, where, you know, again, what would they say if they could? That, you know, this was an incredible gift in my life. I don't think that I knew it then. I may not have even told you as much as I could have, but I really appreciate everything that you did for me. And you've really awakened me and woken me up in so many ways as a person, as an individual, as to what I want to do and what I want to be. You know, you really helped me to see who I really am. You've helped me to see my own potential, and you've really brought about some deeper, even spiritual growth and personal growth that I didn't even know that I needed, but you brought that to me. And in the distance that we've had since we've broken up or we've had the separation or been in disconnect, I've really been able to see the gift that you are and even recognize you as, whether it be a soulmate or just a divine blessing that was really able to bring about some deeper growth that was necessary for me. You've really kindled my flame and helped me come alive in the best of ways, and I have utmost appreciation for you and for that. So that's what they'd be saying. Yeah. So let's see what else. What would they say if they could? They'd say, I want you to trust that this connection had to end because this is what was needed for me to grow. And so it's almost like there's an apology there a little bit. Around, I wish I could have been that person for you when we were together. It could be something like that for some of you. But for some of you, I'm not feeling that energy. For some of you, I'm feeling like even though there wasn't a lot of bad vibes or anything like that in the relationship, that it was like this had to happen in order for them to experience some kind of change, transformation, or healing within themselves. It was just necessary for whatever reason. It required another person, it required a romantic partner, it required a person of interest for them to really move through these changes and come out on the other side and step into all they're meant to be. Like they are meant to claim more for themselves. Like that's really the shift that they're moving into, is claiming more for themselves, really claiming who they are and what they want. And they were only able to set themselves free in that way and come to know that and tap into that part of themselves because of this relationship, as well as that disconnect and the loss. Something happened where they were really able to see themselves more clearly and you more clearly. So what would they say if they could? They'd say there was something about you coming into my life that was magic. There was something that had to happen inside of me, and that only happened because you came into it, and because of that, you've set me free. You've made me a better person. You've helped me see myself and my life more clearly. You've helped me reassess what I really want to do and what I really want to be and the kind of life I really want for myself. You've really helped me gain clarity on my life and gain clarity on my life direction or even my next level. Like I am more clear about who I am and feel more confident about who I am because of you. So they'd be saying something like that, yeah. And they'd be saying they just see this relationship as something that was such a gift and so beautiful and actually serves their higher potential and higher calling. They see you as quite relevant to that. And what do we get, you guys? The card that has self-confidence on it. So they've really been able to come into themselves more fully, again, to see themselves more clearly, to own and actualize even different parts of them. But again, they're seeing themselves as capable, they're claiming more for themselves, and they're seeing, again, how all of this unfolded so perfectly because it's really supported them and landed them in the place they needed to be for themselves, right? For being closer to their purpose, their life path, what it is they actually deeply wanted that perhaps and for whatever reason they weren't able to see before, and because of you, they've been able to do that. So what a beautiful gift you've offered them, pile 3. So let's pull any final cards, any messages for, yeah, so essentially, hold on, excuse me. Card pile 3, what would they say if they could? You brought me so much confidence. You brought my life into greater harmony, into greater flow, into how I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be, into the greater picture in my own life and all things. And you've just made me a better person. So thank you. You've made me a better person. That's what they would say. So that's card pile 3. That's your reading. If this lands for you, resonates for you, if you have feedback for me, I encourage you to share your feedback in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I also want to let you know I do offer both personal readings, coaching sessions, as well as longer term coaching programs for your life, for your work, and on your spiritual path. And of course, there are also ways to support and contribute to this channel if you are so inspired to do so. So thank you, card pile 3. Until next time.